quiet all of a sudden. It's kind of quiet for a Tuesday night, isn't it? I guess everybody's preparing for the big snowstorm. The action's probably at the grocery store right now, huh? I've got a lot of free space up here. Okay, so great things that are coming up is 40 days. So it's based on this book written by Baptiste, and we practice in the style of Baptiste. Megan and I will be leading it together. Our 40 days program, we usually do it about twice, sometimes 3 times a year. And it is probably one of our most popular things that we do. We can have up to 100 people doing it at times. And if you've ever taken it, raise your hand. Who's taken it? Yeah, a lot of people. Some people do it every single time we do it and have done it 7 or more times. And then sometimes people do it, check in again with it at another time. But it's a really cool program. So it has really 4 components. It has yoga. We ask for up to 5 times a week. But you monitor all of this. And do you know that we have live stream that we offer for free? So if you're traveling, you can always practice with us from anywhere in the world. And then there's a dietary component. So one of the most exciting parts is learning about how to make food sweet without sugar. Then there is the meeting once a week on Thursdays at 7 o'clock until 8, so just 1 hour, and meditation. A lot of good things, and people get amazing results. So if you have questions about it, ask myself, ask Megan, other teachers in the room, Harold, Chris, Matt, ask any of them. Let's get started. Start in child's pose. Toes together, knees open, stretch your arms forward, bring your forehead down to the mat. Start to set up the pace of breathing that's going to support your practice throughout the whole of this next hour. Start with a slow and steady, deep rhythmic breath. For me, I oftentimes need to start by just taking a deep breath in and then exhaling through my mouth so the weight of my whole body just starts to sink and settle. So I can just for a moment sit to the side my concerns, obligations, things I'm looking forward to in the rest of my day, just put those to the side so I could have this opportunity to get really on purpose or deliberate about how I've made myself up for the day. So this is your opportunity to get really just deliberate about who you are inside of your body. Now start to work with your breathing in like a companionship with the people around you. So with your slow, steady, deep, rhythmic breath, breathe a breath that really fills up the room. Listen for the breath of the people around you. And so you keep the structure of your own breath and the individuality about that, but then start to share it with the people around you, the room around you, and appreciate the breath of those next to you. With your next inhale, lift your body up into downward facing dog, and then start to stretch out. Bend one knee, straighten one knee. What I most love to do is to really sway my hips far to one side and then the other to stretch out the long sides of my body. Experiment with how you hold your weight in your hands. Aim for pressing the most weight into the knuckle of your pointer finger. Once your hands are really solidly anchored to your mat, soften your knees as much as you need to just drag your seat up and back like you're going to sit on the back wall of the room. You may need to bend your knees so that you can really tilt your sitting bones up and reach them back. Stretch out your hamstrings. This is really a pose to wake up the backs of your thighs. Take a look at your hands, walk up to your hands, line your feet up to be parallel to one another in hip-width distance. With an inhale, lift up halfway so it's as though you're stretching your body out of your pelvis, and with an exhale, hang down. Like a surrender, like you're letting the weight of your whole body hang down into the crown of your head and toward the floor. Be purposeful with how you place your feet. If you want to bring a little bit more ease into your experience of today, then soften up your toes. You want to bring a little more power in today, then really press your heels down into the mat. As you push your heels down, lift your sitting bones high up into the air, and again, stretch out the backs of your thighs. Bring a little bit more weight right into this part of your foot. can fold your arms and hold your opposite elbow and sway from side to side. Then release your fingertips to the ground and walk your feet together. Keep your knees soft, but your legs really strong, and come rolling up to standing. One bone lifting at a time, so the last thing would be your head. Then inhale and sweep your arms overhead, look up to the ceiling, stretch up out of your feet, lift your heart even. Maybe just go up and back 2 more inches. Then exhale, bring your hands into prayer position and pause. Set an intention for your practice. I am, and then you choose. I am gratitude would be a good one to work with tonight. And 3 times we'll chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Inhale and reach up for the ceiling, up and a little bit back. Then exhale, fold down to the floor. Halfway lift, long spine like you're being pressed up and supported by your abdominal muscles. Then step back, high plank position. Know you can use your knees on the ground. Look forward, low plank position. Inhale, come to upward facing dog, but keep this lifting. Exhale, move to downward facing dog. 3 breaths, inhale. And exhale, press your sitting bones up and back. Take a deep breath in. Pull your bottom ribs up into your body so the load in your shoulders gets lighter. 1 more breath. Exhale, empty your breath. Now look to your hands, step or jump up to your hands, feet together. Halfway lift. And fold down. Stand up as you breathe in. Stretch up out of your feet. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Then exhale, fold down to the floor. Halfway lift. High plank to low plank. Keep pulling the pit of your belly up to your chin. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And a slow, steady breath out. 2 more. Stretch your hips back. Pull the weight out of your hands. 1 more breath here. Sink your heels down. Press your thighs back. Look to your hands. Move up to your hands. Halfway lift. And fold down. Chair pose. Sit back. Reach your arms up. Stretch out of your seat. Now fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift. Press up with your abdominal muscles. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog. Stretch your lowest abdominal muscles here. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot between your hands. Back foot flat. Lunge. Reach up to the ceiling. Pull yourself up out of your feet. Hands to the floor. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step forward and lunge. Warrior 1. Reach your arms up. Stretch the front side of your body. Hands to the floor. Chaturanga. Keep drawing the pit of your belly in and up. Upward dog, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Feel free to check out the placement of your pelvis by hovering your knees just down at ankle height and really tilting your pelvis up, then stretching your hips up and back. 1 more breath. Then empty. Look to your hands. Step or jump up to your hands. Halfway lift. And fold. Chair pose. Sit. Stretch out of your hips. Now fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Broaden your collarbones. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Downward facing dog. Right foot, step it forward. Now anchor your back foot. The power is in your back leg. Now you reach. Bring your hands down. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward and lunge. Arms up. Hands down, chaturanga. Lower down, upward facing dog, long neck, broad collarbones, downward facing dog. Rest here, stretch here. Know that you can expand the length of the base of this pose. You don't have to have your heels touching the ground. They can hover and be sinking. One more breath in. Exhale, empty your breath. Look to your hands, step or jump up, halfway lift, and fold down. Chair pose, sit back. Now stay right here in this chair for a few breaths. As you hold this chair pose, maybe take your hands to your lowest belly, like below your belly button, and just guide the pit of your belly into your body and up, so your tailbone sinks down a little bit lower. You can even sit back then further, so your shins and your knees come back away from your toes. Once you've created that, reach your arms up into the air. 3 more breaths here. Sit back just a little bit more. Last breath here. Reach up and fold to the floor. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Pit of your belly in, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward to crescent lunge. Arms up in the air. Bring your attention to your back foot. Evenly place your weight from your big toe to your little toe. Then work to draw your thigh bones in toward each other. Bring your arms down to cactus arms. Sink your knee down to the ground as you inhale. As you exhale, press up straight and square your hips. Bend your knee, inhale. Stretch up, press your arms up. One more time, bend your knee. Stretch all the way up, hips square. Now into crescent lunge with square hips. So just come right back to the level where you can keep your square hips. You'll need to really pull the pit of your belly in and up. Bring your hands to prayer position. Pause, twist toward the early bird wall. Left elbow to your front knee. Now it's easy to shift all of your weight into your front leg. Can you bring action into your back leg? Press your heel back, activate your back leg, then open your arms. Bottom arm down, top arm up. Your hand can be outside or inside of your front knee. Work together to take 3 more breaths here. When you inhale, get longer in the pose, and then when you exhale, turn your chest to the ceiling. As you breathe, stay light, up out of your hips. 1 more breath long. Stay for the whole exhale. Inhale, lift up and around to warrior 2. Lunge down, deepen your warrior 2. It's easy to come into this strength in the work of your front leg, so go down until you can experience that. Your knee and toes facing in the same direction. Then shift your attention to your back leg. Stay low in your lunge, but activate your back leg as though you were going to just drag it into your front leg. So strong. Your hips, your ribs, your shoulders, they should just face the side of the room. Now extended side angle, lightly touch your fingertips down on the block or floor at the arch of your front foot. Left arm in the air. Looking for that? Deep lunge, come down into the place where there's action in your back leg, where you're not sure really if you can hold it. Better to come into the not sure zone and occasionally straighten than to never know really how long and deep you can hold it. You can stay reaching to the ceiling or reach overhead and experience creating a stretch from your fingertips down your side body to your heel. Bring breath. 1 more. Then hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Raise your right leg into the air behind you. Then bend your knee, bring your heel to your hip. Turn your hips open to the right side of the room, to the early bird chalkboard. Now stay here. Press your hands deep down into the ground. And as you do that, then drag your right knee high up into the air behind you. Get very active. Pull the pit of your belly into your body and bring length to your lower back. Pit of your belly in. That's it. Space in your lower back. Flip over, land gently. You can put your 2 feet down, bring your knees down to the ground, and just spin around on your hips and press down with your 2 feet. The idea here is to allow the whole side of your body to stretch open. Take one more breath and then float to side plank. Put your right hand on the ground. Step your top foot forward and place it flat on the ground. Work to bring your top hip square to your bottom hip and reach up and get really light. So some of you never take this modification. Try it. There's something to learn about your alignment. 2 hips square to the wall you're looking at. So for most of us, top hip forward more. Look to the ceiling. Reach to the ceiling and get very light. Shoulders down your back. Let these melt down your back. Keep pulling the pit of your belly into your body and supporting your lower back. Reach up. Hands to the floor, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Step your left foot forward for crescent lunge. Anchor into your back foot. Then sink down deep, bring your knee down, and when you do that, let your pelvis tilt so that your belly is pulling in and up. Then stretch up and get very square in your hips. Then back down you go, line your body up, pit of your belly pulling in and up, and then stretch up. Bend down with your knee, stretch up, square hips, crescent lunge. Come down into the crescent lunge. So the pit of your belly pulling in and up now, and your back leg straighter working toward it. Hands to prayer. Twist toward the left. Right elbow, left knee. Pull your abdominal muscles into your body so that you get lighter, less like you're weighing down into your front leg, less belly resting on your thigh. You can open your arms, bottom arm down and top arm up. Then you make some equal and opposite action happen. Heel back and head forward, hand down and hand up. 2 more breaths. When you exhale, turn to the ceiling. Last one, stay for the exhale. Inhale, lift up and around to warrior 2. Megan, don't let that sway happen. Warrior 2. Lunge down, open your feet long so you can really stack your front knee on top of your ankle. A lot of times in the warrior 2, your left hip is just hanging forward to the wall in front of you. Open your hip back so that your hips, ribs, and shoulders are square to the side. Pull your belly in and up so your tailbone drops down. Then in that space with your long side waist, just tilt forward to extended side angle. Left fingertips, block or floor, and land lightly with your fingertips. Then reach up into the air with your top arm. You can always use your water bottle if you don't have a block to just rest on gently. Bend your knee a lot. Now let's work on breath here. Keep opening your pelvis to the side of the room, pulling the pit of your belly in and up. One more breath. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Raise your left leg into the air. Bend your knee, bring your heel to your hip, turn your hips open. Hands down into the mat, knee up in the air, whole side body, stretching long. Flip over. 2 feet on the floor. You can stay with your knee in the air if that's the best place for you to be. As you press with your feet and press with the floor hand that's on the floor, get lighter. Lighter in your right shoulder. Breathe easy. One more breath. Side plank. Left hand down, face the early bird wall. Step your right foot forward. Use the stepping forward of your right foot to start training your body to be as though it's in a T that just tilted on its side. So the T doesn't look like this. It's square. Step your foot forward, bring your right hip forward. Draw the pit of your belly into your body. Press down with your left hand so that your hips rise up. Less work right there. You'd like to. There, it's starting to, oh. Now pull the pit of your belly in, yes. That made that fire up. Okay, high plank to low. Too long? You're crumbly bunch, downward facing dog. Sometimes you really need to stick with the pose for a few extra breaths to get it. That's always better when you're the teacher and not the student. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath in, exhale. Just stretch your hips back, stretch your spine out. One more breath. Empty. Look to your hands, move up to your hands. When you arrive, halfway lift and fold down. Come up to standing, sweep your arms overhead, and take eagle pose. Right arm under, squat down, reach your right leg around your left. With your standing foot, ideally, you line it up so your heel's behind your middle toe. Then pull the pit of your belly in, because you know it's so easy to make a sway happen in your lower back and then just like hold on to the pose for dear life in your lower back. Pull the pit of your belly in and see if you can experience your low back just expanding open. That might be a whole new feeling in this pose. Keep your arms bound and wrap your top leg to airplane legs. Just stretch your right foot back like it's standing on the wall at the back of the room, and you can just slide your fingertips across the street. So stretch out your whole body, iron it out. Now the work here is to push down in your standing foot and rise up with your lowest abdominal muscles so you don't hang so heavy in your standing hip. Unwind your arms, reach them back into airplane arms. Pull the pit of your belly up. Yeah, that's it, Kendall. Stretch out your lower back. Now chest up, upward dog in your chest. Hands to prayer position. Half moon, left hand down. Turn to the early bird, right arm up. Activate your lifted leg. Pull the pit of your belly into your body and up so your tailbone can reach to the back of the room, that your lower back opens up, it expands. Instead of it being your strength by compressing, it's your strength by opening. One more breath, look up and reach, then 2 feet down and hang. Sway from side to side. Is it break time over here? All the boys are going on break. Come all the way up to standing, sweep your arms overhead. Now the left side eagle pose. Wrap your left arm under, squat down, wrap your left leg over. That's it. Work with your drishti. You know, in yoga, we talk a lot about your drishti. And a lot of times when you get to know that word, you might think it just means where your eyes go. But it means where you point your concentration. So that's your eyes too, but focus your concentration. Maybe pull the pit of your belly in and focus your concentration on the expansion in your lower back. So the lowest belly in and this opening. Keep your arm bind. Unwrap your top leg, reach it back, airplane leg. Activate your lifted leg like it's standing on the back wall of the room. Just gently, just another millimeter, drop your left hip down so your hips become more square. Rise up a little more, leg up. Push down with your standing heel. In your standing hip, rise up. So standing heel down, standing hip up, 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 stretch. Foot back, chest forward, belly in and up. Make this space fill up with strength. Fill it up, fill it up. Hands to prayer. Half moon, right hand down. That's to me like relief when the teacher says half moon. Left arm in the air. So bring awareness all the way into the toes of your lifted foot. Ideally, your body's turning sideways. You can let this relax back here, yep. You can do it. Stay for another breath. Lift your leg high, get active. Look to your fingers, reach up so much your bottom fingertips just come off of the ground. And then hang down, step down, gracefully step 2 feet down and hang. Sway from side to side. Come all the way up to standing. Sweep your arms overhead, stretch your arms up, then drop your right arm down behind you, bend your right knee, keep your knees together, grab your shin from the inside around the area of your ankle, so flex your foot like it's standing on the ceiling, then left arm in the air and pause. Square to the front of the room. Knees side by side, thighs side by side. Before you go anywhere, pull the pit of your belly in and up. Lengthen your side waist. Now stretch out into the pose. So instead of collapsing, you stretch to achieve the pose. Press your foot up to the ceiling and back. Reach your fingertips to the wall in front of you. You're welcome. If you feel like you're getting heavy in your standing hip, push your heel down and lift your belly up. Get lighter. Step out. Windmill your arms around and switch sides. Left hand, left shin. Don't go anywhere. Just stand here with your knees aligned. It's tempting to let your belly sway forward and your back start crunching up. Start with your belly lifting, right arm up. Pause right here, knees together at first. Let your front of your left quad stretch. Now go. Press your foot up. Keep pushing it up like it's standing on the ceiling. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, push right into my hand. You've got it. Then work the balance between your reaching and your kicking. How long can you make the sides of your waist? How will you make them long? By pulling the pit of your belly into your body, lifting it up to your chin, letting your tailbone reach back to your knee. Stay here for one more breath. Then gently come out, feet together, arms down by your sides. Just stand tall. Soak in the pose. Soak in the beauty of what you've just asked for in your body. Let your body be healed from the magic you create. Just be still. Tree pose. Stand on your left foot. Bring the sole of your right foot up to your left inner thigh. Take a peek down at your left foot, the one you're standing on. I bet it's turned out a little bit. Could you reorganize it so your heel is behind your middle toe? And then once you do have it straight, maybe your toes are just squeezing and hanging on. Stretch them out and let them get soft. Just push down into the ball of your big toe. Breathe. Last thing, soften the back of your standing knee. Just make the back of your knee joint softer. Right there. Interlace your fingers, press your palms forward, then reach your arms up and overhead. Push your heel down, reach your palms up. You can even shift your gaze up if you'd like, chest up. Shoulders relax, let your shoulders relax. They'll do that once your abdominal muscles are lifting. Then stretch your arms out and down, knee forward and down, and switch sides. Stand on your left foot, bring your right foot up to your left inner thigh. Eyes fixed, breath steady. Let your goal with your left knee be to point to the front left corner of the room. Interlace your fingers. Maybe you want to put a different baby finger on top this time. Press your palms forward and reach overhead. You just keep lifting the pit of your belly, lifting up out of your lower back. Breathe, unlock your standing knee, and stretch right up out of your hips. Let your shoulders relax. When this is long, they can relax. Yep, soften your standing knee. That's going to be tricky. It's like, how will I stand up? Last breath, look up and reach, and then step out. Come up to the front of your mat. Chair pose, squat down. If you need your hands on your belly to encourage the pit of your belly to come in and up, you do that. Don't ever hang out in the chair pose with your lower back compressing and collapsing. Make it long. Now sit way back. Work together. 5 powerful breaths. This is good. Really good. Last one, reach up, pull this in and up. That's it. Fold to the floor. halfway lift, high plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, stretch your low belly, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge, warrior one. Like your back leg is like your rudder, it's controlling everything here. Now turn to warrior two, face the left side of the room. Deep lunge and your whole body facing the side, front palm up, reverse the warrior. Stretch not just the right side of your body, but also the left, lifting and stretching. Reach with your fingertips. Pull the pit of your belly in, nice Megan. Straighten your front leg, reach up and back from your toes to your fingers, that's it, keep fighting for it. Triangle pose, fingertips forward, hips back. You can use your block behind your front leg, place to rest your hand, make it tall if you need to. Reach your top arm in the air. It might feel really nice to just wrap your top arm behind your back, halfway binding the pose, then just ease your body open. Every time you exhale, soften and relax just a little bit more. This is it, good. One more breath, just letting go. That's it, come up to standing. Continue facing the side of the room, but turn your feet parallel to one another, hands on your hips. Inhale, lift up high, stretch your body really long and tall. Now as you exhale, fold forward, fold at the crease of your hips rather than your lower back. So hinge forward, keep your belly lifting up, hands down to the ground. Turn your left toes to the left corner of the room, and your right foot, pivot on your heel and point your toes to the ceiling. Then walk your hands over to your left foot, lunge way down and stretch your right inner thigh. Some of you will go lower than others. Some of you might find positioning your hands behind or in front. You customize your pose. Breathe right there. Once you start feeling the stretch on your right inner thigh, you're in the right spot. Toes up to the ceiling. That'll help pinpoint your inner thigh. You can go right there, Chrissy. Whoa, slippery mat. Okay, now keep your hips as low as you dare and crawl over to the opposite side. Keep your hips low. Toes up to the ceiling. That's it. Now this time the action's in the moving. So you're going to go back and forth, visiting each side 3 more times. You might not even need to use your hands to shift back and forth. So from side to side, back and forth, you might need to linger in one spot. See if you can move by gliding from side to side. Once you have visited 3 times each side, then in the center, forward fold, feet parallel. Once you get to the center, folding, feet parallel, just anchor your hands outside the outer edges of your feet. Not so flexible today, outside of your calves, feeling really flexible under your heels, and stretch your chest down to the floor. Work that you press your heels down. Keep your knees soft, and isolate then that you're stretching your sitting bones up to the ceiling. Bring breath. And then prepare to come back up to standing. So hands flat on the floor. Some of you need to bring your feet a little bit closer together. Come to a halfway lift. Keep your knees soft. Put your hands on your lower back so your elbows point to the ceiling, like you're hugging a beach ball. Breathe right here for just a second. Keep collecting the pit of your belly in. Take a deep breath in. Make the action be that your belly presses you up to standing. Turn, face the front of your mat. Step your back foot in just a little bit. Have your feet be wide open, so it's as though they're standing on train tracks. Let's see, what do we want to do today? Let's go with this. Reach your right arm down your back, your left arm up your back, and hold hands. You might need a strap or a towel to cover the distance between your 2 hands. Fold forward. So fold forward at your hips. So that means not your waist, where you just start to fold down, your hips stay settled. Your hips are what move. You'll want to have your feet pretty long apart, not quite warrior one, but close. So bring that back here. That should work. Work with your back foot pressing into the ground to work your hips square to the front of the room. Another breath. Then the way you get back up to standing is by pressing your belly into your body. Nice. Unwind your arms, step to the front of your mat, feet together. Chair pose, sit down, reach your arms in the air and breathe. If you need to use your hands to guide your belly in, then do that. So open up the sway, pull the pit of your belly in, sit back, and then pull the pit of your belly in. There, stay right there. Breathe. Pit of your belly into your body. Yes, right there. That's it. Sit way back. Just let your shoulders relax. 3 more breaths. Pull this in right here. Yes, and let this expand open. 1 more breath. Reach up. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift. High plank to low plank. You can step back or jump back. Upward facing dog. Stretch your lowest belly. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward to warrior 1. Anchor your back legs. Press it down into the mat. Reach up and back. Then turn to the right for warrior 2. Open your feet long. Take a big base to this pose. Pit of your belly up and tailbone dropping. Flip your left palm up. Reverse the warrior. Reach up and back. Keep your body turning to the side. And then lift right in here. And you'll sustain that right here. Feel it? You can let your shoulders relax. Keep lunging. Keep your front knee on track over your ankle. Then straighten your front leg. Reach up and go back. Stretch. Triangle pose. Block water bottle floor. Left fingertips behind your ankle. Right arm in the air or let it melt behind you. You can soften the back of your front leg's knee. Create a deep, sincere stretching in your front and your thigh. I always feel it over the crest of my right hip. Just keep pulling the pit of your belly into your body, tailbone down. Pit of your belly into your body and up, tailbone down. 1 more breath. Come up to standing. Up you go. Turn your feet parallel to one another. Bring them a little closer. If you have a strap, even if your hands can interlace, you might like to use the strap, and you would use it wide, so wide that you can almost but not quite jump rope. Of course, you can interlace your hands as well if you don't have a strap or a hand towel. Then lift up high. Hinge forward, so you'll feel your sitting bones keep releasing and releasing behind you as you descend. Then allow your arms to just spill overhead. Unlock your knees. There you go. Good. You know what? You might just love this. Let me give you this. Hold either end. Yep. And then, whoa, there you go. That's it. Does it feel good? Good. Every time you exhale, you're letting go of holding and controlling where your shoulders are just a little more. Let gravity decide it for you. How much can you let go and be soft about it? No control, no making it deeper. Use your abdominal strength to press up in your body and bring you up to standing. Turn and face the front of the room. So you guys had different arms in the air. I had said right arm in the air on the other side, so I'll say left arm in the air. But if you were different on the other side, do the opposite. Hold hands behind your back. Left arm in the air, right arm up your back. Hold strap, a towel. Lots of you will find that your hands do meet. Set yourself up. Take a deep breath in. And fold forward. Square your hips. Just keep driving your left thigh bone up and back, up and back, up and back. Breathe. That's it. Keep the breath just flowing. Add strength on your inhales, release on your exhales. Wherever you are in this pose, however far down you've folded, wherever your arms are, You keep supporting by scissoring your legs closed, scare you, and pressing up with the pit of your belly. Keep that crease open. That's it. That's a long, flat back. How will you get back up to standing? By using your abdominal strength to just press you back up. Release your arms. Step to the front of your mat. Feet together, arms down. Take a breath. Doesn't matter what your intention was at the beginning. At this point in class, from right here, from what you've accomplished, set an intention for the rest of the class. Then inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. High plank to low plank, breathe out. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Come to the front of your mat for hero pose. Kneel down at the front of your mat. Open your feet, hip width distance, a little wider. And then for some of you, you'll be leaning forward and using your hands. Others, you'll be leaning back and using your hands or sitting on a block. And then some of you will sit the whole way on the floor. Toes, point them straight back. For all of you, your knuckles or your palms, press into the soles of your feet and out to your baby toes and sit up tall. Really light. Keep pulling the pit of your belly in and imagining from your sitting bones on the surface of whatever they're on, all the way up to the crown of your head, you're straight up and down. Broad across your collarbones and shoulders down. Come up to standing on your knees. Turn your toes under behind you and keep your knees hip width distance for camel pose. Bring your hands to your hips behind you like they're going to slide into your pockets. Then get broad across your collarbones. Next step, the pit of your belly, bring it in and up so that you're as tall as you can be in the sides of your waist. Then chin into your chest and relax your head back or keep your chin in. Keep lifting your chest and dropping your tailbone. Lifting your belly, lifting your heart. Right here, a little more lift. More space in your lower back. A back bend, because the word back is in there, I guess. A lot of times we think sink down and hinge back. Instead of that, think lift up and open up. Up is the goal here, not so much back. Keep pulling the pit of your belly into your body and lifting it. The way to get out of this pose is chest up to the ceiling and come out. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Stretch your hips up and back. Walk your knees out back and forth. Come through your hands, sit down into staff pose. Legs in front of you with your toes pointing up to the ceiling. Fingertips in front of you and sit up really tall, tall in your waist, like you're lifting yourself up out of your hips. Relax your shoulders. And then start to roll back one bone at a time. So pull the pit of your belly in, shoulders down. Pit of the belly in, shoulders down. You can press. Belly in, mark, in, and roll over your hips. More belly in, there it is. You got it. Bend your knees, put your feet flat on the floor for bridge pose. Hip width distance, knees up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift up into bridge pose, like a sliding board from your knees down to your face. Then rock side to side and tuck your shoulders deep underneath of your body. Pull the pit of your belly in your body and up to your chin. So you'll need to drop your hips 1/4 of an inch closer to the floor. So you're less pushed up into the front surface of your pelvis. So down just 1/4 of an inch. Then can you tilt your pelvis so that you have a sense of pulling your pubic bone more towards your chin, your tailbone more toward your knees. Stay in this pose or fingertips to the ceiling. Fold your wrists, put your hands on the floor under your shoulders. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, press into your hands and lift up into wheel pose. Bridge pose or wheel pose, your choice. Stay in whichever one is the best for you today. Then work together. for 5 more breaths. 4, hold my ankles. 3, here, you've got it. Soften in your middle back, soften in how high you press your hips, tuck your chin, and come back down. Don't hug your knees, take 1 breath in, and exhale. Then set yourself up again. Bridge pose first, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift up. You can open your feet hip-width distance and really stand sturdy in the 4 corners of your feet. Fingertips to the ceiling, flex your wrists, place your hands on the floor, under your shoulders, or set them wide. The stronger your shoulders are, or tighter, the wider you'll need to set them. It's gonna be weird. Just go for that. And up you go. Relax. Let your shoulders relax into your back. Press your chest toward the wall that you're looking at. Easy breathing. 2 more breaths. Press hard into your feet, hard into the ball of the big toe. Then gently come down, chin into your chest. Back down you go. Soles of your feet together, knees open. You can place a hand on your belly or a hand on your heart. And take a deep breath in. Exhale. Bring your knees into your chest for dead bug pose. Hold with your hands on the outer edges of your feet. Pull your knees back to your shoulders and rock from side to side. Knees into your chest and hug, then rock head to tail on your mat 3 times. Don't touch your feet to the floor, just come up to balancing on your sitting bones. On the 3rd one, all the way up in balance. You can hold behind your thighs. Legs like a tabletop, feet like they're standing on the brick wall at the front of the room for boat pose. Breathe right here. Your feet should look like they're hands on a clock facing 12 o'clock instead of 11 and 1. So point your toes straight up to the ceiling. Wrap your thigh bones into your midline. Breathe. Last breath here, hug your knees into your chest. Rock 3 times. Back and forth, head to tail. 1, 2, 3, balance, boat pose again. Hands on your thighs, wrap them in, straighten your legs this time. Absolutely straight, a sense of pulling your thigh bones back. Arms, make them wide like you're hugging a big tree, and then just suck your guts up under your ribs and be light. Sit tall. Tall, shoulders down. 3 more breaths. Can you do 3 more? You got it. Feet to 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, wrap your thighs in. It's in your thighs. Hug your knees into your chest and rock. 3 times. It may be that you're holding both of your thighs and your knees are really bent and your big toes are resting on the ground. There's a stage of the pose for everyone. So last one. Hook your big toes with your middle and index fingers. Some of you will choose to take wide legs, a little bit less flexible, a little more flexible feet together. Wherever you are, chest up, head back. You might fall back, and yes, we'll all giggle, and it will be fun. Shoulders down, lift up in your chest, lift up. Now drop your head back, way back, way back. I know, that's the hard part. Okay, hug your knees and go before you all fall down. 3 times, rock back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Let's see here. Fold your, you're gonna have choices. If you do waterfall pose, Viparita Karani, you're gonna lie flat on your back, legs straight up in the air. If you do shoulder stand and plow pose, you're gonna fold your mat up into quarters. So it will look like this. Just fold it in half. See, that's a half, and half of a half is a quarter. And very crisp, like neat and tidy folding. Then you'll lie down on your back with your head hanging off of the mat, shoulders on the mat. So just the edge of your shoulders, you can go that way a little bit more, Allison, just right there. Might be a tiny bit too far. So shoulders, yeah, to the edge of the mat. Neck off, head off. Then go to plow pose from there. You're gonna like this. Okay, go. You'll have just a little bit of a platform. It'll give you access to some deeper stretching in your upper back. Now, if your pose is legs straight up in the air, go for that one. Crisp folding. All of the wrong wrinkling will bother you when you're upside down. It could be that you're flat on your back with your legs straight up in the air, and that's a great place to be. If that's the case, flex your feet and make them look like they're standing on the ceiling, and then move them away from your face until you feel it in your belly. Relax. A little more that way. Just a little more. That'll work. Is this your towel? Is this towel yours? Is this yours? Let's put this under your hips. You'll like that. Lift your hips up. Put it right there. Not your lower back, your hips. Yeah, that'll work. You came off of your mat a little bit. You might need to be that way to start. Let's get you on here just right. Recline. That way a little. Now go. Yeah. You should have a little more space to get taller in this pose, a little more freedom in your neck. Now you should know this about your neck. You don't really have a goal of flattening it out. You want still that it has a gentle, like, into your body curving. Spine really long and tall. Just a few more breaths. If you're in shoulder stand, bring your feet back to the floor for plow pose. Yeah, that's it. They might dangle, and that's fine. They don't have to actually land on the ground. Flexibility will come, and that'll happen one day. Now, this will be a tricky part. Put your palms toward the ground behind you, and come rolling out of the pose. When you go rolling off of the edge of the mat, there'll be a little bit of a thump. One bone at a time, as best you can. Shoulders down, anchor your ribs, all the way down. Once you've unwound, hug your knees into your chest and spread your mat out. You can always grab one of our blankets to keep by your mat for this pose to have a platform. It's a little bit nicer and thicker with the blankets, but I almost always choose it because the older I get, the tighter my upper back is getting. Open up your mat, downward facing dog. You guys were kind of opting for nap time, I see. Thank you. Downward facing dog, half pigeon right leg. So the criteria is your front knee is in front of your right hip. Your shin, make it as square as you can. That's the optional part, is how square your shin is. Your back leg, walk it back. Then before you go in for the nap, work with your thigh so that your bones are moving in and your hips become more square. Once that is the action, then pull the pit of your belly up. So right now it's really easy to have that spilling forward pelvis. You pull your belly in and see if you can get tall and make length in your lower back. Now start working, not quite. Yeah, this action, feel it? Just keep that active. Keep pulling in and up, Megan. Then hands to the floor. Return to downward facing dog. Go for the left side. Now on December 13th, we're having just a fun little extra class on the schedule. It is, I don't know, it's on that white chalkboard out front. I don't remember the time. Oh, I do. 6 to 8 is the yoga practice. That's right, 2 hours. It's going to be great like that. Because you know, right now, don't you feel like you're just warmed up and ready to go? Yes is the answer. So 2 hours, so it's not 2 hours of sun salutations. You do the hard part every time you come. You just sometimes miss getting the cherry on the sundae. And then there's a holiday just mixer potluck. So everybody is welcome. Put on the board what you think you'll bring along, and then just come and have fun for a little holiday yoga. I'll be there. Yeah, work with a little of that lift when you're at the top. I know, but it's good for you. Yeah, that's good. You've got it, Megan. Okay, this time, sit on your left hip, swing your right leg around in front of you, and roll onto your back. You have your cool stone somewhere nearby. Matt, will you turn the lights off? Place the stone on your forehead. I like to roll up a towel under my neck and then place the stone on that. You can place it at the center of your chest, on your ribs, like right where they kind of come together and form a little tent, so your upper abdominal area. Then palms to the ceiling so your shoulder blades support you on the floor. Give yourself the gift of stillness, the gift of gratitude. Your body does so much for you, but more than anything, what it does is it anchors you to the present moment. The things that it does, what it's experiencing, is what's actually happening. So give gratitude right now. Take a deep, deep breath in. And exhale through your mouth. Inhale. And as you exhale, squeeze your fingers and your toes. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll to your side. And with your eyes closed, bring yourself up into a sitting position. So you had exactly the practice that you were meant to have. The one that you needed was exactly what you needed right now, whatever that is. From the space that you created with your practice, set an intention for the rest of your day, for your holiday ahead, who you'll be for others. Who will you be for others? Then inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands into prayer position. One more time, let's chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Ah. And exhale through your mouth. Namaste. Thank you so much for playing. Now, Thursday and Friday, we don't have our usual schedule. On Thursday, we have, I can't see it, Kelly at 9:15. And on Friday, the fabulous Megan from 10 to 12. And she is doing the turkey twist-off. Gonna be awesome. If you have questions about anything, you can ask myself, Megan, Matt, raise your hand, a teacher here. Harold, raise your hand, a teacher here. Ask any of us. Chris, raise your hand, a teacher here. I think that's all of us. Thank you.